back to the Reality Receipts podcast starring me, Storytime with Ricky.
And me, Reality Ashley. And today you can see that we have a very special guest. We have BRI, who is currently on Battlecamp, which just came out on Netflix. And you might also know her from Too Hot to Handle season 6, which I loved her on that show. But first, we're going to talk about your time on Battlecamp before we get into any other tea. So,
Okay,
of course. I'm ready.
yes. Yeah, right into
We'll start
it.
present, and then we'll get back to the Too Hot to Handle because there's some tea there that we don't want to let it go unstirred. But can
So
you tell
much
us
to talk
about your Battlecamp experience? How did you get cast on the show, and when and where did it film?
So my battle camp experience, let me just say, it was very intense, but it was like a one of one. I was so happy to get casted on there. Like when I got home from Too Hot, they called me and they were like, we think we want you on this show. And, you know, would you be interested in doing like competition? And I was like, yeah, 100%. Like by this time, it wasn't like right away because I think me and Damari had broken up. We had like just broken up. And so it probably was like a month after because we dated for like 3 more weeks or roughly a month and then broke up. So he didn't make it with me to 2024. And then in January, they called me and they asked me, like, you know, would you be interested? Yada, yada. It's not like a dating show. And I was like, okay, perfect. Like, I don't think I want to go straight back on another dating show. Right. So I think, you know, that was good. And obviously it just worked out like how it did. And I loved it.
Mm-hmm. So it filmed like last year, like February-ish, right? Or around there?
No, it filmed
or like spring.
3 months after they casted me. So it's been like roughly a year, I would say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a little
makes
over
sense.
a year. Yeah.
Yeah, they usually have about like a year delay, it seems like, on their releasing things. So
Yeah.
that makes sense. So when you got there, you kind of like had to go straight into a challenge. And it was that challenge where you were fooling each other about who had the for yours it was the electric shock, and then there was the like nasty milkshake and the nasty hot dog. So were you so happy that you didn't get the nasty food?
I probably would have got taken out day 1 because I have a weak stomach. So like I am so grateful I just got the fun part of it, and my team were, like, we were cool and it was funny, but like the other team, like the red team, I felt so bad for them because Tony was literally throwing up. And we were like, oh my God, is he faking or is he doing that for real? And then Georgia was like right next to him throwing up because she was smelling him. And it was just making her throw up. So we were like, is it Georgia? Who is it? Like, we don't know. But yeah, that was a really good challenge.
Yeah, I was like, there's some actors on this cast because everyone did so well. Like if they, as viewers, if they didn't tell us like who the person was, I wouldn't have known myself. So I was like, oh, they did really good.
Yes.
They did so good.
They were fooling everyone. And like, even when I would guess like who the actual person was, my team was like, no, it's not them. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to lose. First of all, you guys don't know me, so y'all don't trust me. It's fine. I get it. But I'm like paying attention really, really closely. And I'm like, no, it's him. It's her. And they're like, nah, we never agreed on anything. So I was like, oh my God, we're going to lose.
Yeah, it looked so hard.
Seriously, your team did kind of lose a lot. It's okay though.
Yeah. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
Right. No. I'm kind of here for the vibes. I mean, I am competitive, but like, I just wanted to see like what's up with the camp.
Right. Like, I'm here for the camp vibes. Like,
not the nasty milkshake. No.
So you did actually have to participate in a punishment challenge, which was like the steps. And originally I didn't understand. I was like, what do you mean? Who has the most steps? But then it turns out watching you guys, it looked extremely difficult to the point where you had to stop at one point.
One of the worst things I've ever done. Like,
really?
When I say first of all, it was hot. So like, imagine where the altitude is so high up there. We're like in the mountains, in the woods, whatever. It's blazing hot. It's like midday, like noon. And I'm sweating so much and I can't breathe. Like the altitude was like taking me out. Like by the time I got done with this challenge, I needed an asthma pump. I had to call the medic because I was like, I cannot physically breathe.
Right.
Yeah.
And like I like to run. So
Mhm.
like I was a cheerleader for like majority of my school days.
Mhm.
And we used to work out with the track team. And so
Yeah.
like I loved running. I've worked out like my entire life because I've like been athletic like my entire life. So,
Mhm.
you know, I'm always in the gym. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I love running. Like I like going on the treadmill, the Stairmaster, whatever. But this was so different. It was so intense. Like I just felt like I wanted to pass out like every 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well,
I
that
was like, please, can you guys throw water on me or something?
Right. And to do all that and still lose, like I should get
And
something.
to still lose.
yeah.
And I even lost like my pedometer. So it was like, I didn't even know like, you know, if I was going to win or lose or anything. Because by the time we finished, they checked for my pedometer and it was gone. And I was
Yeah.
Mm.
That's crazy that they made you do that in the elements like that. I feel like they should have
Yeah.
had a nice like air conditioned area for you guys to do that.
Yeah,
'Cause,
no, they
yeah,
said, we're bringing out the red carpet for her because she's a princess.
yes, exactly.
It
A
was
little
not what I
fan.
expected.
Well,
But yeah,
you meant
I mean, regardless, it was fun though, like just
yeah.
doing it all together, but it was very intense and like
Yeah.
my legs were sore for days. Like that's why I was so happy to go home because
Yeah.
Yeah.
as soon as I landed off my flight, I went straight to the massage place.
Yeah.
Like, I booked a
Wow.
massage on my flight. It
Right.
was like,
Yeah.
no, I need to feel better immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
mentioned that you're athletic, which makes total sense because that challenge where you had to stand on the poles, you totally crushed that one. You went from like one end to the other. So, what about like, do you have a fear of heights? Was that scary at all or no big deal?
No, I've never had a fear of heights. Like, I actually love flying. That's why I fly a lot because like I
Uh,
love being up in the clouds. Like I love roller coasters when I was young. I love like, you know, adventure parks, like whatever. Like I was that kind of girl. I love fun stuff. So being up in
yeah.
the air was like not scary. But like looking at it from this perspective, I was like, oh my God, I was really high.
Yeah.
Yes. It
Yeah.
looked scary.
Yes, and
Okay.
I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I did that." Because when I came down, everybody was like, "How did you hold on for that long?" I said, "I really have no idea." But
Yeah.
I used to be a cheerleader, so like, I don't know. I just have like arm strength, like, and I never do
Yeah.
arm day. I'm not even
Me
kidding.
neither.
Like, I do leg day most days of the gym. I never do arm day, and for some reason, I just look ripped.
Yeah.
Like,
It was impressive upper body strength because that is not easy at all.
I know. That's why
yeah.
I'm always impressed with like strippers or like people who do pole dancing. I'm like, how are you holding yourself up there?
Yes. That ab strength. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you guys are different.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys are built different. So
Yeah. It's amazing.
let's get into the Louis of it all because that's
Yes.
what we
I'm
all
sure
really
you.
I know, it was
that's what we all really care about. Okay, we tried to soften you up before we.
Yeah. We're like, we'll wait a minute or two, but
Let's act like we care about the challenges first.
right, right.
yeah, I do. I love all those big shows. So
And then let's get into the thick of it. So, you and Louie,
Yeah.
so we saw you guys on Too Hot to Handle together, but there was no connection. Or maybe there was that we didn't see on the season.
So,
Okay, because I'm
Yeah.
like, how did this happen? Because you guys
Yeah,
were
we're
on
like,
the show together, and we
where did
did
this
So-
come from?
when we were in banishment, we actually did like have a great time together. It was just like they just got the moments where I was like really pissed off in the beginning of going back to banishment because I was like, why am I here again? I hate
Yeah.
this place.
I hate this place.
And so being with Louis, he's just like a ball of fun. So I couldn't like stay mad. And he was always like in my face bothering me. So I was like, all right, fine, whatever. So
Huh.
we kind of bonded a lot like in banishment. And then we spent a lot of time outside of the room too. So it was like, we just learned a lot about each other in a very short time. And like the producers came up to us at this point and they were like, do you guys want to like have more screen time or like do you want to explore something? And I was like, no. I
Like,
think
no, thank you.
we were both in agreement on that. Like, we were like, no, like, let's just like, no. But like, we were like attracted to each other, you know, like it was fun, flirty vibes.
Yeah.
But we just like, we had like natural, organic fun. So it was like, I didn't really look at him like that when he first came, because I was like, Louis like gives me Playboy vibes. Like everybody is like, I love Louis. And I was just like,
Yeah.
he's cute, he's good looking, like, but his
Yeah.
personality is really good. So that kind of like made me look at him differently, because I just thought, you know, like when you have a first impression of somebody and they're like, I think they may or may not be like that, but he was like totally opposite of what was in my head. So that was really nice to experience, because I was like, you know, sometimes you meet a pretty boy and he thinks that he's just prettier than you. So like,
So,
he's like really down to earth. And so from Too Hot, we kind of like, we didn't really talk at all, besides like in a group chat. And then, so that's why I was really shocked to see him on Battlecamp, because I was like, maybe they bring in like Charlie or something. Like even in one of my casting interviews, they were like, who would you want to see? And I was like, oh, I definitely want to see Charlie. Like, because we were besties. Like even outside of the villa, we spoke all the time. We FaceTimed all the time. So I'm expecting like, oh, maybe they'll bring Charlie in here and we'll like have our bestie friendship on here. But no, that was a really big surprise for me.
They were like, oh,
when I
we've
came back,
seen the chemistry. We got a little surprise for you.
So one of the producers was like, we definitely felt there was some unfinished business there.
And they were right.
And I was like, okay, I'm being set up.
Yes.
This is a setup.
Yeah, because when you first walked in, you guys were just like immediately drawn to each other, and it was like you had a foundation already built there, probably of friendship from the show. So it was like the sparks immediately were flying. So definitely the producers were smart for that, because they must have seen something. Or do you think maybe he mentioned to them he wanted to see you there? Maybe that had something to do with it.
I have no idea. I never even asked him.
No. How did this happen?
Maybe I don't know. Maybe he'll just confess it one day or just take it to the grave. I don't know. But
it was really funny watching him like on the show be like, I hope whoever comes in has a nice bum, and like, and then it's like,
I was like, well, I have a little nice one, but
I think it was exactly what he was asking for and wishing for.
he
was
manifesting it for sure.
Literally. That was funny to me, because when we walked in and I was like,
did not. So you didn't expect him at all?
No, and he definitely did not expect me to walk through the door. So it was great. And watching that back was like so good to watch.
Yeah, because you were in his bed night one, like it didn't. There was no discussion. It was almost like you guys knew. What was that like?
Okay.
Talk about it.
We were so sad that we lost the challenge, and I was like, I could cuddle. So when he was like, you're gonna cuddle with me tonight? I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. But I was like, because I feel like a sore loser right now.
When you first got in the bed, I was like, but they're friends from Too Hot to Handle. It's just gonna be a cuddle situation. And then they have that night vision camera going, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Camera is
the devil.
I'm like, this looks a little more than cuddling, but good for them.
When Trey was like, what are you guys doing? And Louis covered my mouth.
Trey.
Because I was cracking up. I was like, are we really kissing right now?
Trey was trying to get the tea, which we respect. So
Trey was always trying to get the tea.
So,
he's nosy.
Did anything happen besides a cuddle?
We're nosy too. So.
We're nosy too. So.
Oh, okay. So you want to know if I met Big Ben?
Yes.
I didn't really kiss and tell.
Okay.
That's fair. We'll let our imaginations tell us, but
right.
Well, you called him Big Ben, so there's a kind of a
Maybe a show and tell happens.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I can confirm Big Ben is who he says he is.
So he's not lying about it.
That's all we need. Good to know. You know what? It's almost not fair, Louis. It's not fair that you look that way and have
And
Big
you
Ben. You know, something's got to give.
Yeah.
Something's got to give. You'll ruin people's lives, okay? So
Yeah.
let's just, you will
Yeah.
ruin people's lives.
Really.
So I mean, you guys weren't necessarily a couple in there, but you had the connection. So do you think that put a target on you? Like, obviously what ended up happening was the randomness of the wheel, but they didn't really show anyone having conversations about like they're too close, let's get them out. But Louis did sort of have a target. So do you think that had anything to do with it?
Those conversations about us definitely happened because I heard about it. And I was like, well, do they think I'm a threat because we're going to like be a power couple in here? Like, like be better together. And they kind of thought that. They were like, Louis on his best performance. Like, since you
yes, he was happy.
And I was like, oh, okay. Like, that's interesting. Like, I figured he would be on his best performance either way, which he was watching it back. But those conversations were definitely had about us, and that put a target on both of us. Like, they were like, no, we need to like separate them, get them out of here.
Yes, the competition shows always say like, don't do a romance or a showmance, they call it, because then it puts a target.
No,
but we like that.
A showmance makes the show, because it's like if everyone's just competing and there's no showmance, we're like,
it's
right.
You know what I mean? Like, so that's why, honestly, that's why I was like, this was kind of the perfect cast, because it just worked out like that. And like, there was no showmance like from anybody else. Everybody there was literally married, engaged, or in a relationship. Like, everybody was like with someone. So me and Louis were literally like single, freshly, like, we were just
ready to mingle.
Ready to mingle.
We need that.
Yeah, we need that. Like, I think as viewers, like, we did cover, I don't know if you watched the other competition show on Netflix, $1 Million Secret, but I feel like that's what that was missing, was a showmance. We were like trying to make it happen.
They almost had it in there. I think that maybe if they did have it, they cut it. But I saw a few people I thought were maybe like having a thing or like, but they definitely were missing that, because I was interested to see it happen. And it didn't happen, and I was like,
boo.
The show was still good regardless.
It was really good. It was really good.
Yeah, we like to see a little bit of love in there too. So fun.
Yeah, because and then in your situation, how random that I was surprised that Louis went home. Like, as many times as Nick's name was on the wheel, I thought for sure he was going to go home, and then to see his boy throw him under the bus, I was like, oh, you're trifling. And then you were really emotional when Louis went home, and then you got sent home right after him. So it was like the perfect little love story, right? Like,
it was.
Honestly, I was like, oh my gosh, how scary is that?
It was.
It just happened like that, and I couldn't believe it. But I was so happy. But when Louis got eliminated first, I was literally in tears, because I was like, oh my God, this is my bestie in here. Like, what am I going to do? And then it's like, now I have to go sleep alone. And I'm like, that's not going to be fun. And just looking at his empty bed and knowing who else is going to walk in here, whatever. But then when they did the double elimination, we were shocked, because I was like, oh my God, I did not expect that to happen at all.
It was like a Romeo and Juliet kind of a little love story in there.
You said you were happy though, because you got to go get your massage, although Louis could have gave you a massage, or
So
were you actually happy to leave? Because I was like, 250,000, like, I love you, Louis.
I was so happy to leave. Like, I was like, I don't think I could take whatever else is coming at this challenge. Like, I'm cool. The experience was great. I'm great for like wanting to go somewhere and have a good time and just be in it.
Yeah.
And I think I just did that. You know, I came for the vibes, left with more vibes. Like,
Left with
Yeah.
the man. They came for the vibes. Left with the man.
right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of leaving with a man, so I think you already kind of answered this, but the timeline of like Damari and then Louis. So you said you broke up. You didn't take him into 2024. So
No, we
you
were
guys.
supposed to spend New Year's together, and I spent Christmas and with him and his family, and I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling the vibes. It was like
Mhm.
it was really off, and
Yeah.
so I just made the decision to like buy a ticket back home, and yeah, I left, and I was like, yeah, I kind of just broke it off with him, and I was like, I'm not
Yeah.
feeling it. No, it wasn't giving me the same vibe that it was giving me like inside the villa. And I feel like I tried really hard, and
Yeah.
like long distance is hard. And it was just, he wasn't being upfront with me, which we kind of like eventually got to. And he explained to me like he was having like delayed reactions from the experience. And, you know, it was just a lot for him. And also his family is like really close to his ex, so I think that played a really big part in it. And
Yeah.
it just kind of ruined, you know, the whole experience overall, because I just was expecting something else like coming out. And then yeah, so I broke up with him, and then I think 4 months later, that's when, you know, me and Louis saw each other again.
Yeah. But then you get back together sometime in the summer, right? So that was after this battle
Yeah,
camp
so
film.
me and Damari actually just we were like no contact, like did not speak, nothing, like up until they told us like the release of the show was coming out. And so by this time Battle Camp had already filmed. And yeah, after that it was like we had a conversation on FaceTime, and we kind of just like talked about everything. We went up, you know, we were just being out and open with each other. And at this time, I did not tell him anything about Battle Camp. Obviously, I was under NDA. So it was like, I didn't tell anybody. The only people who knew were my family. And I did happen to share some stuff with Charlie. And yeah, that's part of another pot of tea. But
Yeah, we take tea here.
so Charlie was kind of the only person who knew, or I thought knew. And he said that he got casted as well, but I guess, you know, they didn't choose him after all. And so I shared with him, like, you know, I'm speaking back to Damari, and I did have an experience with Louis. I don't know how this is gonna, you know, I'm just coming to him friendly, like, I need advice. Like, what do I do if, like, you know, because the feelings with Damari would come up again, obviously, like with the show launch, and, you know, having to watch all of this back, and like the support from fans, and like, you know, that kind of stuff just weighs on you emotionally. And so like when Too Hot was launching, I was just going through a whirlwind of emotions, because it was like, did I really try with this, you know, relationship on the outside? Did I go back to my, you know, my old ways where I just don't trust anything anymore? And I kind of felt bad at some point, because I was like, maybe I should give this a more of a fair chance again. And so that's where we were kind of like revisiting, talking about, you know, dating again. And we came and met up in LA, and we went on a date, and like, you know, we were feeling like how we were feeling in the villa. So it was like, okay, let's see where this can go. And so at this point, we were talking again. And so me and Louis were still in communication. Like we spoke pretty frequently, like pretty frequently. And but it was just still like good, flirty, friendly vibes. Like it wasn't like anything dating. We weren't going to see each other, you know. And so this was still all before the show launched. And then during show launch, it was a lot of drama between the cast, because I don't even want to say names, but a couple girls were trying to sabotage me and Damari. And now that I I know the reason why is because she knew what happened in battle camp, and now she was
Oh,
trying to, you know, uh,
so
put that energy
Charlie's,
towards my relationship now. And so some stuff happened where it got leaked online, and then our welfare producer had to have Valentina take the video down with her and Damari dancing. Like, it was a whole thing. And she wasn't even supposed to be posting with him, but ended up posting with him anyways, to like trying to embarrass me. And apparently she was like trying to get him to like cheat on me at the party, and she was like kissed him in his face and sat on his lap. It was like a whole thing, and Damari did not tell me about any of it. And so that's kind of why I decided to end things. Like, we were trying to revisit it, and I was like, here you go lying to me again over
Yeah.
this same girl that happened in the villa. And I just felt triggered, so I was like, you know what, let's just not do it. And then we saw each other again on the Malta trip.
right.
And this is the time, like, Damari had told me he loved me, but he like tried to give me a promise ring, and I was like, no thanks. Like, keep it to yourself. Like, I at this point, like, I know I deserve better. I know my self-worth.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to start with a clean slate, let's do that. But he also just wasn't honest with me about like relationships that he was having like over the summer and like whatever. So all of these girls were like DMing me and like, trying to like embarrass me on the internet in my comments, like, oh, Damari's on my phone, and Damari's doing this, and he dated my friend. And it was just a bunch of like behind the scenes drama. And I was like, oh my God, I don't want to deal with this. Like, if you're not going to be upfront and honest with me, which is all I really asked for, then it's just not, it's not a vibe.
Yeah.
And so when we saw each other on the Malta trip, then we hashed everything out. Like, we hashed it out, and we said, like, let's give it one more chance.
Yeah.
Let's give it one more chance.
Charm.
Let's put it in the air. And from there, we went on another trip to Scottsdale. And Scottsdale, that trip really just took it there. Like, so this is where Catherine came out to the other girls, which I had already shared with them. I, was in the experience with Louis. We're the only two single people there. We did have a showman's, blah, blah, blah. Like, these things did happen between us, but it's not currently happening. You know what I mean? Like, it came, it went, whatever. And so I did share that with the other girls, and Catherine went behind my back. They all went to a dinner on the trip, and they were all just having a powwow about me, like saying like, oh, I lied about this and I hid this from them and da 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 da. And I'm just like, who cares? Like, this is my body. This is my experience. Like, why do you care so much? None of you actually have dated Louis in the real world. You know what I mean? Like, we went on a dating show to see if we were compatible. You weren't compatible. You actually left that man alone. So it's like, what, like, why are you so bothered? And I specifically asked Charlie to not share this to Catherine, because I felt like I knew deep down this girl was still emotionally attached to him, because he just rejected her. He didn't really want her. And even though they didn't show that, it kind of just gave, like, she kind of had to let it go, because he wasn't really interested in her. Like, she's a great looking girl, but like, he just wasn't, they weren't compatible. So I just felt like she was kind of salty about that, and then trying to make it seem like I'm deceiving people or whatever. But the truth is, like, we had an organic, flirty, fun relationship. We're still friends to this day. Like, Louis was the first person who reached out to me when my grandmother passed. Like, he's like, if you need anything ever, like, you can always call me. Like, we have talks about I learned a lot about him and his family. Like, we relate a lot on a lot of things. So it's like, we still have a very, like, good, natural friendship. And I cherish that, because he's like a really great person.
Yeah. Do you think there was some jealousy or like saltiness that you were going to get to do another show, and that's why all of this,
I definitely
talking
think
about you?
Yeah, because it's like, even if you get casted, that doesn't mean you go. You know what I mean? So you can get casted all day long. If they say, no, never mind, we don't want you, then that's just what it is. And I think like, you know, they kind of were upset when finding out from other people because I didn't tell anybody. Everybody kind of just found out through other people. And so, yeah, the fact that Charlie like shared that when I specifically asked him not to is why the reason why we're not friends. He did reach out to me like when my grandmother passed. And he said like, you know, regardless of what's happened, yada yada. But I never like responded to that because I just like I tried to reach out to him when it all was going down in Scottsdale, and he did not answer not one of my phone calls. Like he completely ignored me, and then he said, you know, I'll call you back or call you later. Never called. He didn't want to talk about it, but he was also like egging on the fact that Catherine was like making TikToks about the situation, saying like she's gonna blow up a secret or whatever the TikTok was at the time.
Yeah.
It was like a secret that will blow up everything. And Damari was actually the one who showed it to me. So it was like he already knew what the TikTok was about. You know what I mean? So it's like to go online and spread rumors like, oh, my man didn't know what happened. Like, no, he knew. I actually told him the day before that all went down. So it was like we were still together because at the end of the day, Damari knew what happened. And so he was like, I can't be upset. Like, I'm not upset that you didn't share what's in your NDA. You know, like you didn't break your NDA for me. That's your money. That's your bread and butter. I would never like, you know, so I respected him for that. Right. And even though like they went out of their way to like go to the blogs and tell the blogs about everything and like spread all these lies online, he held me down and he was like, listen, we're here on a business trip. Like, put all that to the side. Let's go to brunch. Let's yada yada. So like I have a lot of respect for him in that sense because he really like held it down for me when all of the girls were like going crazy. And I was like, that kind of sucks. Like, you know, because I was like wanting to build these friendship with these girls, but at the same time, when we came out the villa, we just talked in group chats on Instagram. They never had my phone number. It was never like we met up anywhere. Like when the show launched is when I saw everybody else again. I saw Catherine and Charlie one time in LA. We went to dinner, took pictures, and that was it. And everybody else, we weren't like friends. Like we were people who shared an experience. We talked here and there. And, you know, I guess Gianna at the time, like coming out of the villa, she was still like chatting to Louis. So yeah, she would update us and tell us like, he's like, you know, not responding to my messages here and there, like whatever. So it was kind of like spacey, but then they tried to say like, I went behind her back. Like, no, I didn't go behind anyone's back. This man was single.
Yeah.
I was single. She was supposedly with her man by the time me and Louis were already filming. So I'm just like, whose man did I take?
And you mentioned your grandmother, so we're sorry about her passing. I know I reached out to you when you posted about it. It was such a tragic story what happened. So you're saying the cast wasn't really there for you when that happened, or they didn't reach out at all?
Who reached out to me were Louis, Charlie, and Joao.
So not even Damari?
I think, well, Damari, I was with him at the time.
Oh, you were still with him. Okay.
Yeah, so Damari knew on the date of that it happened, but like, yeah, none of the girls, like Kylie, I believe I heard from. But that was it.
Yeah, that's sad that they let the jealousy of you getting these opportunities.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, even if we have our differences, like I would personally put that aside. Like, I don't know. I'm just different in that way. Like, you know, it was nice to get a message from Charlie because he still understands like human connection and relationship in that sense. But it's also just like, it would just be the right thing to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no matter however we feel about each other at the end of the day, like I would never want to see someone go through something like that and not have that support, you know? So it kind of sucked that happened like that.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then you and Damari were together until this year, right? Till Valentine's Day.
Shortly after my grandmother passed. it was just a really difficult time during that period. Like some days I really just wouldn't want to talk, and
Yeah.
I still have those days. And like
Mhm.
he just wasn't really too understanding of that.
Yeah.
And ultimately what did it was my Christmas gift was late to him. And so he felt like he deserved better. His mom was like a really big part of our relationship, which I did not appreciate because she was like advising him to do things. And like she eventually
Oh, no.
told me, like, yeah, I was on the phone listening to you guys, even if you didn't know I was on the phone. Or it was
What?
just really weird. It was really weird in that way. And like I flew out to see him right after I buried my grandmother, and then literally he was like, yeah, this is not gonna work for me. Like, I think just basically telling me like he doesn't deserve to be treated like that. And I was just like, Tamari, I'm grieving my grandmother
Yeah.
who was killed, and
Yeah.
you're mad about a Christmas gift that's late. When I saw him initially, like straight off the plane, he just gave me a hug. The car ride home was kind of awkward, and at this time it was like some days we argued a lot because he just wanted a lot of attention at the time, and I couldn't give it to him. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, my mom's mom just passed away. Like, we're in a current case with the state of New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is not something that's so easy to deal with. My grandmother was such a pillar to her community overall. Like, she's an outstanding woman, and like to be killed right in front of our house that I grew up in, it was just it's very tragic. It's very traumatizing, and he didn't really understand. Like, you know, I feel like he disregarded my feelings a lot, and I just sorry, just bringing this up is kind of like,
It's okay. Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, he seems a little bit self-involved, obviously, to care about a Christmas gift when you're going through so much. So glad that I mean, sometimes those hard times in our life make us realize the people that, shouldn't be in our life. So I'm
Yeah,
glad
so
that,
that kind of just was like the end of the straw for me because I, I had got a one way to LA because I planned on staying there for a while because we hadn't seen each other since my birthday trip. And yeah, it was just really heartbreaking. Like one tragic thing and then this heartbreak. And I'm just like,
yeah,
I'm kind of just over it. Like, I don't even want to like ever revisit something like that. And I just feel like I would have given him so much more grace. But the thing is, he had family members pass away during our relationship, and I never treated him like that, like ever.
yeah,
And I gave him time. I said, listen, talk to me whenever you need. Like, I'm not going to overdo it. I'm not going to just call me when you want. Like, I was kind of just giving him the timing. Like, whenever you're ready, I'm here. Like, please don't feel like you have to give me anything right now. I'm not looking for it.
Right.
But
yeah.
it was just so completely opposite for him. Like, sometimes I wouldn't even hear from him till like 7 p.m. my time, and I'm on Eastern time, and he's on the West Coast. And I'm
Yeah.
like, my day's almost done. I'm winding down. I'm making dinner. Like,
Yeah.
why am I just now hearing from you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's
Should
like,
be like,
yeah.
should,
And he kind of just like started saying like, oh, I'm just focusing on myself. And it just got really weird. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Do
yeah.
what you
Well,
want. Focus on yourself. Like,
Has he
you,
apologized since, like, for
no,
his behavior?
no, he does not. He doesn't feel like he did anything wrong. And it's because his mom was going through a situation with her man and saying that her man didn't give her a Christmas gift till 2 months later either. And nobody deserves to be treated like that. And I was like, well, respectfully, you're 60 and that man is 60 plus. So
yeah.
that's a grown man who knows what he's doing to you. And if you allow that, that's on you. You also are not long distance with your man. So it's like you can't kind of project what you're having on your relationship into ours.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like Damari really let her get in his head about a lot of things. But like I said, she's also very close to the ex-girlfriend. So it's like,
That's what I was
Yeah.
going to ask
I didn't
you.
even know I was under attack during
Yeah.
our relationship
Yeah.
because she knew a lot of things that I've shared with Damari personally, like my past relationship with my ex that was domestic violence, and he passed away, and I never shared a lot of those things with her. And to like have her throw that in my face and say like I'm damaged, and yeah, this is coming from a woman who also experienced domestic violence. So I was very distraught by those comments that she made to me on the phone, and she was just like, my son deserves better, and you're a damaged girl. And I'm like,
That's
yeah,
awful.
right. Yeah, right. Okay, that's fine. Like, throw my trauma in my face and then call me damaged. Like, that's how you're raising who? Like,
Also, him sharing such personal things that you shared with him with his mother, that's just such an invasion of privacy.
But she's so, like, they're very close, but they're too close. So it's like, my mom never, ever, ever, ever got involved in my relationship. Like, ever. Damari was even asking her, while I was packing my bags at his house, can he still talk to her? And he's sorry things didn't work out. Like, texting my mom as he broke up with me, and I'm booking a hotel to go stay at. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, but it's because my mom's she's not problematic in that way. She's like, if it's not working out, like, I wish you the best separately, like, whatever. Like, but my mom's not on social media like his mom is. So she was like cursing my mom out, saying like, oh, she's not getting any hate and she's not getting any of the stuff that's happening online to Damari. And I'm like, yeah, because she stays in her own lane. Like, she's not involved in that way. And you shouldn't be either. I'm like, you pride yourself on being involved in our relationship so heavily, and that is scary.
Yeah, that's not normal. So
it's not.
You honestly deserve so much better than that. So I'm glad that you have ended that, or it's over now, because I wish we could give you a hug, because that's so much that you had to deal with.
Virtual hug.
Yes, virtual hug.
And no one wants
We're
a
sending you a hug.
toxic mother-in-law. That's
no,
like the worst, like a toxic,
literal nightmare.
It was so toxic. I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe this is happening. And she was begging me to call her for days, and I did not want to call her. I was like, I'm in a hotel in LA by myself right now because your son just decided 2 days before Valentine's Day, this ain't it no more. Like, 2 days after I buried my grandmother, like, yes, sorry, don't know why you came out here. You know what I mean? Like, and you want me to call you for what?
Yeah.
No,
has he rekindled with said ex? Because it seems like the family really wants that to be a thing if they're so close to the ex.
I have no idea. I removed everyone from his family off my social media. I don't follow him. I don't keep up with him. I'm so uninterested in anything he does. I did get like DMs saying like Damari was hanging out with Catherine and Valentina, and I was like, well, that's kind of a class act thing for him to do, honestly. Like, you can't beat him, join him, sure. Like, if you want to go do that, I think it's very tacky. But I was like, that to me it really showed me like true colors.
Yeah, that must be the hard thing about dating someone on a TV show. And like, once you end, like, people think they're being helpful by reaching out to you and saying, I saw this and he's doing this, but you're like, I do not want to hear about any of this. So,
I even made a TikTok, like a funny TikTok with a trending sound. And I was just like, when y'all keep tagging me in my ex's post, and people are in my comments like, sorry, girl, I just be wanting you to see, like, this wasn't it.
We just trying to have your back, make sure you seen it just in case you didn't.
They're just like, girl, no, they're like, we're so sorry, we won't do it anymore. I'm like, yes, please. I don't care. Don't update me. I don't want to know.
Right? It's hard. They're trying to look out for you, but you're like, this is not helping me. So
I was like, I have clearly moved on.
How has the reception been from the audience with Battlecamp? Like, has it been positive? Or are you getting, I'm sure your comments are swarmed about the Louis stuff. So
oh my God, they are swarmed. They're like waiting for me to come out and say something directly, but I think I'm just gonna never say anything directly.
No. So
I wonder.
So you're not like an official couple or anything like that.
No, Louis is
No.
actually like is doing more dating shows, so
Oh.
he's trying to find his
Oh wait, we do
Perfect
know that.
match.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute, this
right.
is true.
Yeah,
But
so he
yes,
just had something come out. He's like
what a
he
busy
wasn't
man.
here in LA because I think he's filming for something right now too. So yeah.
Oh,
The Love
interesting.
Island reboot? No, just kidding. Because that
Right.
is
I'm like,
filming
I would
right
love
now.
to go. People
No, you
are
know,
tagging me all the time, like, please go on Love Island. I'm like, listen, Netflix would never let me, but
well, I think Bachelor in Paradise is filming right now, and they are doing a little crossover now. Like, there's the Bachelor people on Perfect Match, and so you never know. But what about
yeah, I
Perfect?
heard that.
Yeah,
They did ask me to go for season.
on Bachelor in Paradise?
No, for
Perfect
Perfect Match,
Match,
but obviously I got back with Tamari, so that didn't
right?
happen. But
But
I
you
feel like
know,
people are gonna expect me to have went on that season that's gonna air.
but they
Oh,
will
yeah,
be
that was
filming another one soon. So would you be interested in the next installment?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Love it. We
Why not?
I had to be a little dramatic. Yes, I do. I think I would definitely do it. Just because, like I said, I like experiences. Even if I know, like even if I don't leave with anyone, I just feel like reality TV I love because I just get to be myself, and yeah, I love that aspect. Like I don't have to do too much. Like I just have to be me, and it's
yeah.
fun.
I feel like people loved you and Louis together though, so they're not going to be that
Yeah.
happy to see him on Perfect Match with other
They're already saying
people.
that they're not happy about that because they know he
No.
did go on Perfect Match.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so they're already like not happy because they're like,
Yeah.
please tell me you
Yeah.
guys are still dating, like, and they're like, no, he's like on other dating shows.
It seems like you guys have a really good friendship and a
We
really
do.
good connection. So that, they say that's the basis for the best relationships.
Mhm.
They do say that, and that's why I'm never gonna write it off.
Yeah,
You
okay,
know?
that's all we ask. That's all
Yeah.
we ask. Don't
I'm not
write
gonna write
it
it off.
Yeah.
It's just
Perfect
like,
Match.
huh?
Oh, I was going to say Perfect Match doesn't have the best track record at finding couples, so he's probably going to come out of that single. So, it could still happen for you guys.
Well, yeah, they already filmed it, and he's
Yeah.
on something else, so obviously he's not with that person.
Exactly. So,
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
he's back
I
on the
don't know,
streets.
but I just know like if I went on Perfect Match, Tamari is probably most likely going to be there because they're gonna be
Oh.
like that.
Yeah, they're messy. Yeah.
They do like to be messy.
Yeah, but they'll probably have someone else like if I was to be interested in or something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that
Okay.
would be interesting.
Yeah, so we're
Yeah.
not writing Louis off. It's a possibility. Maybe sometime, maybe in the future.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe in the future, who knows?
We'll see what happens. But speaking of see what happens, was there anything we did not see happen? Like any other romances or like fights or anything spicy that they didn't show you that you were shocked not to see happen?
Well, I really wasn't there for that long,
Yeah,
so
that's true.
nothing that I didn't see. I don't know if other people saw other drama, but personally, I didn't see anything like that
No.
didn't happen. Yeah.
Yeah, like you said everyone was not single except for you and Louis, so you guys brought
Right.
the
So,
excitement, which was
yeah,
needed. So
they kept it very cute on there.
yes.
And what's the name? Was single the one? Tom Sandoval's 2.0.
Oh,
Actually, what's his
Tony.
name? Tony. My
Yes,
God.
Tony.
And he liked the blonde.
Oh
girl.
yeah, he
Gabby.
loved him some Gabby. I was like,
Yeah.
yes, I need someone to love me and how Tony loves Gabby.
I feel
Why
like he
did
left.
start crying like that?
I have no idea. But the thing is, like, one day in there feels like you've been there a week with this person. So it's
Yeah.
like I completely understand his tears because, like I said, I was so emotional at my wheel with Louis, and I was like, no way, this is happening already.
Yeah, I felt like he left because she left. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like he left because she left. Do you think he left because she left?
No, I just feel like Tony is a really like he's so into his emotions, and I think he got in his own head.
Okay.
And yeah, I think that just did it for him because I was like, you are a fool to have left. Like, and he was
Yes.
such good TV to me. I feel like he was like funny, but he was also like kind of trying to play a little villain, and but he was like very likable. So it was like he just gave me all the aspects I needed to keep
That's
like when
really
I was
funny
watching.
because as a viewer, he was not likable to me.
Yeah.
Like I was like, as a viewer, I was like, get him out of there. He
Yeah.
sucks. I'm
In
over
person
him.
Is
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe
I
in
love
person
Tony.
he's likable, but on camera, I was like, ew. Like, ew.
I think-
no.
Oh my god.
That's the
I guess,
problem
well,
with
yeah, I guess my opinion is biased because I know the behind the scenes.
Yeah, you know, but like just based on what they showed us, it's a no. Like it's a no.
Yeah.
He's definitely not
listen.
likable.
This is what I will say. Tony is a big teddy bear in real life. Like when I met Tony, he could barely look me in the eyes because he was like stunned. he would always have a conversation with me and look the other direction because he was like, I'm not
That's
looking
so
in your
funny.
eyes.
Yeah, but then he tries to come off on TV like he's just like this super confident,
Macho,
super
like-
into himself. Like,
Yeah.
like he's
No,
that
Tony
bitch.
is into himself. They did
Yeah.
not get that wrong. Tony is into himself. Tony's like,
He loves a
I'm gonna make
mirror.
sure I look good wherever I go.
Yeah. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
whenever
into
someone
himself.
he had
Yeah.
such a big personality, and then I think sometimes they'll only show us the little negative parts, so you do miss like the other parts that make them lovable. So we hear that a lot where the cast is like, we love that person, and we're all like, we did not like that person. So they didn't
That
show
happens
enough
a
of
lot.
him.
I'm starting to realize in reality
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Yes.
Because I'm like, ooh, Johnny's
Yeah.
like, Gabby played the game. She's like, I have a man. I thought it was really funny when she was like, when they were like fake talking about that they're gonna get married, and she was like, and we'll split the money. And he was like, split the money.
Right.
Like,
That's what married people do.
Right, exactly.
You left. You gave up $250,000.
Yeah.
I think because you was sad about Gabby.
Yes.
From the
That's what it
looks
was
of it,
giving.
That's what it gave.
yeah.
That's what it gave.
Yes.
But yeah,
That's what it
yes.
gave.
that's what it
Speaking
gave.
of the money, you did win Too Hot to Handle. So did you buy anything special with it, or were you responsible, or keeping that a
I think I
secret?
was responsible for the most part.
Yeah.
I'm helping my mom renovate her house still. So
Oh,
that's
nice.
like, yeah, that's one thing I was like so adamant to do. Because I just felt like she just needed that. Like, she's just a girl. I want to give her stuff back
Aw.
too.
Yeah.
So that's like a process that's still happening.
Mhm.
But it's coming along very well. And I bought myself a wall closet, like a wall wardrobe, and I love it because
Love
it
it.
makes my room look like a shopping boutique.
Oh, that's
That was
awesome.
like a big purchase for me recently. But otherwise, like I gave my sister money towards her college tuition. So I would say I'm pretty responsible for the most
Yeah.
part. I gave my mom
That's
like
so nice.
8,000 or something. Like I gave her
Yeah.
like a good, amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
For the most part, I just spend my money on like my family and friends. And
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
amazing.
that's so yeah, that's so
like
nice.
really sweet. I feel like if
Thank
I got a
you.
ton of money, I'd do the same thing. Like, mom, sister,
yeah, and then it's like
what do you
the
need?
money
Yeah.
just it goes fast.
It does. It's true.
Right.
But I was like, I know I'm gonna get this back 10 times over. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's next for you, Brie?
Mhm.
honestly, I'm with my commercial agency, so hopefully like more commercials, more TV work.
Yes.
I do want to stay in the TV field because I like TV a lot.
Mhm.
I don't know if I want to continue doing reality, but people are always convincing me that I should stay in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I'm
Yeah, we like
kind of
it.
teetering between like doing scripted and sticking with reality because I mean like once you go to scripted, I don't think people ever go back to reality. I think it's like
Yeah.
reality and then you get in there and then you stay in there. But I've
Yeah.
always wanted to be in like acting and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
when I was
Yeah.
younger, I used to do like plays and stuff at school.
Mhm.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yeah, I feel like entertainment field is just definitely my thing. And
Yes.
people are always saying I should host or like
Yeah.
do a podcast. And I'm like,
Do
I don't
it.
know if I can do a podcast,
Do it. You can
Yeah.
but
do anything.
hosting I would definitely be into
Okay.
because I think that's just fun. And like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to chat, obviously.
Yeah.
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 We love a
It'd be
yapper.
amazing.
Yeah, I love to chat, but also like, I just love giving good energy and like, learning about people and like experiences and things like that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell everybody where they can find you.
okay, you guys can find me. I'm gonna be on YouTube still. I'm taking YouTube seriously, finally,
Nice.
because the people want that. So I'm gonna give
Mhm.
them what they want.
Love
You
it.
can find me on all my social platforms at the Brianna Bowram. And yeah, you'll find me there yapping and talking about all the things.
All the
Love it.
tea.
Well, we know whatever is next for you, you're going to excel at it because you have been very fun to watch on TV. We've loved it. So we hope we see you
Thank
again.
you.
We know we will see you again. Yes.
Yeah. You probably
Yes.
will see me again soon.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Love it.
We better.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We had so much fun talking
Yes,
to you,
we
and
did.
Battlecamp is
you.
out now. They dropped the whole season at once, so
Right.
it's
I know.
out.
I
And
still haven't finished. I'm like on the last episode.
I know it's a lot. Some people can watch it all in a day, and then other people drag it out. So it's so hard to cover it. But we're
I
like,
know. The entire cast binged it the whole night, and I
oh
watched
really?
up until like episode 4, and I was like, I can't. My eyeballs are burning.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the punishment. Like,
Yeah.
whoever
Yeah.
keep their eyes open the longer.
Right.
Yes. Make a
Well, thank you
competition.
so much for having me. I had
Yeah.
a great time here as well. It felt like a
Awesome.
little chat.
Yes.
The girl
We
talk,
loved it.
little girl
It
talk.
felt like a therapy girl chat, and like, yeah, I kind of needed that.
Yes.
Love that.
We
Thank
love
you for
it.
trusting us to open up and feeling comfortable enough to open up. That's always, such a great compliment. So thank you so much.
Yeah, we think people are going to love hearing all of this behind the scenes about you. So we
Yes.
appreciate you sharing with us. So
Yeah.
go follow her on Instagram, YouTube, keep up with her because there's probably going to be lots of fun things coming. So
Yeah.
thank you
Yeah.
so much, Bree.
And we will
Thank
see
you
you guys
guys.
next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.